Get to know local leaders, catch community updates, and hear the latest happenings from City Hall and beyond on City Notes, an informative and hyperlocal interview series brought to you by the City of Nicholasville. Today I'm here with Deputy Chief Josh Bolton from the Fire Department. Josh, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little about your background and what about it led you to this role?
I've been in the fire service since I was 16 years old. Started my volunteering in my hometown department, same department my father and my uncle was on when I was a kid. So pretty much grew up in the fire service. Well, started from the bottom, and that particular department in Garrett County, I'm actually chief of now. One thing I've always been interested in. It's been my lifelong dream.
You mentioned you started as a volunteer firefighter when you were just 16. And fast forward to today, you now serve as both deputy chief and fire marshal. That's a lot of fire experience. Can you share some of that knowledge and give us your best fire prevention tips?
Yeah, especially at the local, residential level. One thing's for sure, smoke detectors save lives. We've heard that for the longest time, and it's true. One good thing that people can be regular with is check your smoke detectors and make sure they're working. It's good to go check them once a month, and then every 6 months change the batteries. A good rule of thumb is when the time changes, change your smoke detector batteries. That way we know they're always in working condition. That way if something happens that you get the most notice as possible. If you got kids, small children, you need to make sure you plan with them, have an escape plan. That way, if there is an emergency or fire in the house, they have an idea what they need to do, and everybody knows where to meet and how to get out safely. Always be prepared.
So you fight fires, and then something unique to your role is that you also investigate them. When you're investigating a fire, what does that look like? Does it lead to arrests?
Well, when it comes time to the investigating part, the biggest portion of the scene is done as far as the fire. The fire is out. There still could be, we try to get in as soon as possible while it's good and fresh. Generally, definitely the fire's out. So, but you got all the, what remains, all the burnt debris, and it still could be smoking, or it's a real dirty mess. Then it's left for me to go through and sift through and try to figure out what happened. Dig through everything, take pictures, and just try to piece together what happened. A lot of times, when we're putting fires out, stuff gets moved a lot. We'll have to move stuff out of the way to access hot spots. Put the fire out. When it comes time to investigating, though, as part of my job, we'll try to the best of our ability, put everything back the way it was before the fire. That way, you get a exact picture of how things was laid out before the fire. Helps you trace back and figure out what happened.
Do you see any causes or factors that are more common than others?
Really, there is most of the time. There's only certain few ways that, especially when it comes to house fires and stuff, that they're generally going to start from. It's usually a mechanical failure, or some kind of electrical failure, improperly disposing of smoking materials. It's my job to figure out which one of those it is at the time, and there are cases where it is somebody that's actually trying to destroy their property. You never know what's going on, so just have to sift through and figure out exactly, to the best of our knowledge, what happened. And that's at my level, as an investigator here in Nicholasville, that we definitely try to determine cause and origin. Yeah, because every fire is different. How they started and how they grow, there's so many variables that come into play of how bad a fire can actually be. And the biggest thing with the fire department, is if somebody doesn't know who to call for whatever their problem may be, if you don't know who to call, always call the fire department, because we're the go-to. We try our best to figure it out.
Definitely. I had a friend who had a ring stuck on her finger and ended up at the fire department.
We've cut a many a rings off people's fingers. It's advanced as far as that. It's advanced a lot over the years with tools and stuff. The tools we have to be able to do that. Used to it was just a little ring cutter, and it could be challenging now. It changed a lot.
So, in this role, I know you see so many corners of our community and meet so many people. What Nicholasville person, place, or thing has been an influence in your life lately?
I love this town. I'm not from Nicholasville, but I've pretty much my whole adult life I've worked in this town. Even before the fire department, my first job was here at Donaldson's. So I've always been in Nicholasville and know a lot of great people over here. It's a real great community. Um, Go to church over here, Bethel Christian Church. Brother Bill Bells, he's a real great guy, and he's helped me a lot here in the last few years. I'd say he's a great influence on me.
For sure, Nicholasville is a special place. Deputy Chief Bolton, thank you for helping keep us all safe and for joining us today.
All right, thank you for having me.